I got some intel on Jahiem White that made me giddy today, and this kid has come into camp absolutely shredded.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby, where we're talking West Virginia football again. Thank you guys so much for joining in. This episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. And look, when we talk about Monarch Money, you want to take control of your finances today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your very first year. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. Having a good time here in Provo, man. I can't recommend this place enough. It's been a welcome, as I told you guys, 5 years I spent without any kind of break. So it's been great. So I got a couple tips today, because I hadn't had much free time here recently. And so I decided to reach out to some folks that, obviously been in off-season workouts and different things. Jahiem White is on another level from almost everybody else there. This is a kid that had to have off-season surgery, that has been dinged up really in all the time he's been here at different points, right? And I think he realizes, and I had to put some muscle onto this frame. I didn't expect him to go this far with it, though. And this kid has really put in the work. And so what I've got here is I've got a list of things and reasons why I believe. I got some predictions I'm going to make, but I've also got some reasons why him gaining this weight, being in this incredible shape, is only going to benefit him, because you could make an argument that him staying smaller would benefit him in some ways. Absolutely it could, right? I mean, gaining muscle isn't always the thing to do in college football. We get that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about TikTok bans as well. There's a lot of TikTok dancing going on in the Big 12. We're going to talk about that. Was Rich Rod right all along? Because what I've seen today has been eye-opening, to say the least. So we're going to talk about that. And then also, there was an article put out by, I think, Scholar Callahan, where he talked about where the 33 Mountaineers that transferred, where did they go this offseason? I figured that would be a fun list to go over and just kind of throw out a prediction on, will they do good, bad, or ugly this year? Like, I'm not going to go dive deep and make all, exact predictions on them. But there are a couple that I think can have real big years. You wouldn't shock me if Jalen Anderson at South Dakota was the best running back in FCS or something like that. He's got the potential to be a very good back. He just didn't get his chance here in Morgantown for multiple reasons, right? So, we saw what he did against Oklahoma State. We know he's got the potential, just need somebody to get it out of him. So let's dive into this. Jahiem White, man. If you haven't seen it, let's look at the photos first. This is Jahiem White when he showed up to West Virginia, right? This is a kid that was, he's got some muscle on his body there, but he's pretty skinny overall, right? And this is the body he had for that freshman All-American season. He didn't have any muscle on him yet. And, and last year, I would say he was probably similar to this size. And oh boy, did he really step things up this offseason, showing up to camp looking absolutely jacked. Just look at the difference in the legs, the core, the arms. I was shocked when this photo came out about a month ago. The shape he's in right now, he looks like a power 4 running back, right? This is what you call Jahiem White. The only reason I think he was good early on is because he's so fleet of foot athletic. Physically, he wasn't ready. One of my biggest critiques of Jahiem White the last 2 years has been tapping out after 1 or 2 runs. He wasn't ready for the beating. I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying that. Maybe he might agree. I don't know. Nevertheless, it's the truth. He hasn't been ready for to be a 3-down back. Here's what I want to see Jahiem White do this year. I want him to say, hey, look, Ty Edwards. Hey, look, Cannon Katzer. Hey, look, Sincere Bowers even, right? Hey, look, Ty Edwards. You guys are great. You really are. You're great. But I got this. I'm going to take all the carries. Sorry. I'm going to lead the country in rushing or something crazy like that. Like, he's going to be in the backfield on every play, and you guys might get 20 or 25 carries a game between yourselves because we're going to run the ball a lot, right? We're going to run the ball a lot. We're going to smash people in the mouth. We're going to make people remember the Titans that we used to be circa 01 to 07, right? We're going to remember what it was like to dust cats by 40 before halftime and be like, well, I guess Scotty Fox is coming in today. I don't know. We need a good running back to do that. We need a good couple running backs to do that. Jahiem White is a guy that can do that. He can do that now. With this body, good luck, guys. Let's get into the segment. So here I've got basically a breakdown on I've got 8 reasons why Jahiem White's monster shredded shape spells trouble for the league. I think he's going to have more power. I think his jack physique is going to allow him to bulldoze through defenders instead of running and having to always run around them, making him a nightmare for tacklers because he can also still run around you. It's going to give him enhanced durability. Those added muscles reduce injury risk. It's a proven fact, which is going to keep him on the field longer to dominate. He's got explosive speed. We saw it. He posted it. He leaked it. 4.40 he ran in this offseason. So that means he can maintain that high pace and break away for big plays in this offense, which is going to make him and he's also going to be a versatile threat now because the build supports 3-way down play, running, catching, pass protection, and confusing defenses, right? So number 5, wear down factor. This is a big one, right? His tempo paired with his shape will exhaust opponents over games. I told you guys, my biggest critique of him was when it was Neil Brown, he'd rip off a 20-yarder and he would have to do this. In Rich Rod's offense, you can't do that. You can't tap out. You just got to keep going. Otherwise, it interrupts everything. So, and if you can't sustain a drive by yourself or most of a drive by yourself, maybe inside the 20, they slow it down every now and then. I don't even know if they'll do that. But, obviously I know it's hard to take 10 or 12 carries on a drive. I'm sure you'd have to be in incredible shape to do that. But if you can't do that, Rich Rod will find somebody that can. He'll mold somebody into whatever that looks like. So I think the wear down factor will help. Obviously you add too much muscle, then you start to get into but he's not big enough, in my opinion, to add that kind of muscle where he's going to be 220, 230. He's more of a, maybe a 215, I think. We'll see. Improved agility, I think that it's going to, his muscular frame is going to enhance those quick cuts. It's going to make him harder to contain. He's going to have a mental edge because, looking this fit boosts confidence. It's going to intimidate rivals before the first snap. People have seen these photos of Jahiem White. They don't want to play against him. And I think he's going to have potentially an All-American season with this physique. It sets the stage for jaw-dropping runs, and I think the league's put on notice. I really do. So here's what I've got. I'm going to make a prediction, and then I'm going to give you a hot piss meter with it. So here's what it is. I'm going to predict that Jahiem White's the best running back in the Big 12 this season. I've felt this way for a few weeks. I've been getting some pieces of, as long as he stays healthy. If he can stay healthy and can get out of that needing to tap the helmet after a few big runs, there's no reason why he can't be the best running back in this league. And there are some good ones, but this is more of a quarterback league. So I think he could be the Big 12's best back. Donovan Edwards scares me a little bit over at Colorado. There are a couple players that scare me a little bit, but the one at Baylor scares me. Kansas State always has incredible backs. UCF's got in some good backs this offseason. Like, people have good backs in the Big 12, but I do think Jahiem White has, at 4.4 is good luck. Good luck. So I think he'll be the best back in the Big 12, and I think he'll be on the All-American list. I don't know if it'll be first, second, third, but I think he'll be on that list somewhere because you're in Rich Rod's offense. If you're the starting running back in Rich Rod's offense, there's a really good chance you're going to be in top 5 in carries. You're going to be top 5 in yards per game. And you're probably going to have a chance to be top 5 in touchdowns if you take all the carries. Now, I'm not saying all the carries, but the majority of the carries. Rich Rod, they finished 3rd in rushing attempts last year, right? So unless this team is different and he feels like they need to throw it more, I think there's a great shot or an opportunity for him. Or if not him, maybe somebody else in the room. But I think he's built best to do that. So here's my confidence meter for that out of 50. So his speed score, I've given him a 9.4 because of the 4.48 40-yard dash. That's elite obviously. He's obviously his size, not exactly where he wanted to be for a punishing back, but he's not a punishing back. He is a Jock Sanders. He is a Darius Raynaud. He is a Tavon Austin type kind of player where he's going to juke around, make you miss, outrun you, that kind of thing. Resilience is a 9 out of 10 because he came back from that injury and surgery remarkably fast. The fact that he can run a 4.40 already shocked the hell out of me. And I think that showcases his willpower and determination. He realizes he's got to make the time work with what he's got left. He's coming up on his last years. Could potentially be his last year if he wanted to go in the league. He's a proven talent. He's already been an All-American, a freshman All-American. So he's proven already he can rise to elite status. So I've got that an 8.7 out of 10. Physical dominance, I think his jacked up frame adds power and durability, which can overwhelm defenders in the Rich Rod offense where you're consistently running and wearing people down. So I give that a 9.2 out of 10. And then I give his system fit an 8.7 out of 10. I think he almost perfectly aligns with Rich Rod's up-tempo offense, maximizing his 3-down role. The only thing I want to deduct for there is I don't know if he's to the point to where he's not going to tap the helmet yet. I've heard that he's been great in conditioning and finishing very high up, but I just want to see. I want to see it for myself. So my confidence, 46 out of 50 is what I have. I think he is – I am very confident that even if we're not the best team this year, I think he will be a very bright spot on either a good team or a bad team. It doesn't matter which one we are. I think he's just shy of being a perfect storm. You know, if we had more offensive linemen back and a couple more proven pieces back, and maybe this was like if this Jahiem White we have today was in a year 2 or year 3 Rich Rod offense, I would probably go because he's the same. Like he's talent-wise, he's in that Steve Slayton category. He's got that same kind of talent. I don't know if he can continuously do it like Steve did. Even Steve got hurt. I think it actually held Steve back. Pat White was far tougher than anybody on our team. He could take it hurt. He played hurt. He's like Larry Bird. He played hurt all the time. Beat up all the time with a 6'1" frame, 190 pounds. Should have never had no business to take that many hits. Jahiem White absolutely can do that now. That's my opinion. Would love to know how you guys feel about it. Please like the video while you're here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and share the video out. That's all I have to say about that. Also, make sure you check out our Discord. We haven't been promoting it much. I've been gone. I've been very much involved like I have wanted to be here lately. It's kind of gone by the wayside. Well, we're only a few short weeks away from camp, and then it's a month till the season. You know, we've got a little over 2 weeks, a little under, or I don't know. It's the 18th, so I think the August 1st, I think they report. So, it's coming. It's coming. We're going to be right there, fall camp. We're going to be getting Rich Rod press conferences. We'll be getting updates on players, the whole nine, and football season's here, baby. It's basically here. So make sure you subscribe, get to the Discord, the whole nine. All right, let's go to break. On the other side, TikTok dancing is back, and Rich Rod, was he right? I think he might have been right. Oh, my God. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. When we talk about Monarch Money, we're doing it big. Obviously, we love it there. And if you ever wish managing your money felt easier, now with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings, planning a big purchase, or what have you, Monarch Money puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It's more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center where you can track your accounts, investments, and spending in one easy, convenient place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building your wealth. You don't have to micromanage that anymore. Listen, I told you guys months ago, I looked at the list and seen how much I was spending on DoorDash. I had to stop. It was like hundreds of dollars a week at one point, almost $1,000 in a month one time. Whenever, because whenever you live by yourself, sometimes it's easier just to say, hey, I'll order this, hey, I'll order that. Monarch Money helped me quit that. Take control of your finances today with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your very first year. In segment 2, we are going to crack a do. And look, I know people have been getting on to me for it, and I understand that I probably shouldn't be drinking any. I will tell you, the only time of the day I've drank a Mountain Dew since I've been here is right when I do the show, because let me just tell you guys, hold on. You guys know, I tell you all everything. I am not the most physically fit guy, not at all. And so this amped up schedule we've been on has taken its toll on old dad. Let me tell you. So I have at times struggled a little bit, right? Like walking up these mountains and everything. Like it's definitely enlightened me and opened my eyes. And even like I was already open. I knew that. But when you're at your house every day and you don't really leave often, like I leave maybe once a day sometimes, it's one of those things where I got stuck in a rut where I was just making content, so focused on the money. Because if you sit at home and just make content, I promise you, eventually you'll make money. Like I never thought I would have, and I ended up eventually start to make it to the point to where I don't have to work. Like this is a job. Don't get me wrong, it is a job. I just traveled 3 days to Provo, Utah for it, but I'm just saying it's not a get out of your house, go to work kind of job. And unfortunately, that's not great for your health. So I'm going to have to figure some stuff out. I know you guys hate when I ramble, some of you. So we'll get on to the next topic here. TikTok dances, man. It's been a theme this off season, and I just don't know. I don't know anymore. I just have to say, Rich Rod was right. He was absolutely right. Like, it's not even a maybe. It's for sure he was right. Let's look at 2 clips today that I just don't even know how to interpret. This is Mason Schubert from Oklahoma State. And listen, my buddy Cody from Locked On Oklahoma State, you got some explaining to do. I'm not going to play all this, just a couple seconds, because the music will hit me for copyright, but you'll get the gist in about 3 seconds. Okay, so there's number 1, which is not as bad. You're like, I get it. It's their era. It's something they do. I probably look like the old boomer that's or Gen X guy that's yelling at the computer screen. What are they doing? Like, I get it. But, in this case, in the football case, in a locker room where toughness is king, do you think Ray Lewis and those guys were doing this? I get it. Like Ray Lewis dance coming out, but it was like, because of he was trying to intimidate the other team. Like it was that thing he did. I'm going to fast forward it to 38 seconds here, and I'm only going to have to play 3 seconds of this video for you to see exactly why Rich Rod hates TikTok dances. Just look at the gyrating these guys do to their rear ends. I never thought those would be words I would say. Guys, what the heck is going on in Oklahoma State right now? what is going on at Oklahoma State right now. For those of you listening on podcast, let me just paint a picture for you. 9 guys or so standing in line, dancing to this music. They turn to the side, they squat down, and they start humping. And it just happens to be they're in line with each other. So it's what my when I was in the Marine Corps, they used to call it nut to butt, right? Whenever you get in line with somebody, nut to butt, right? That's exactly what was going on there, and I'm not a fan of it. I can exactly see why Rich Rod, not exactly a fan of it either. And boy, oh boy, is it not hard edge. Certainly, and look, this is not anything towards anybody in the gay community or anything like that. I'm not making any kind of fun of anybody in that sort of sense. Like, this is purely, these are macho men in a setting gyrating like that. Man, it's not a great look for Oklahoma State at all. And they'll probably win the Big 12 as a result, right? No, honestly, like, if you're Rich Rodriguez, can you guys ever in this world we live in, see Rich Rodriguez allowing that? It's not going to happen. He'll probably quit the sport before guys get in a line and gyrate their hips like that towards each other's rear ends. Like, I was in shock watching that because I seen somebody posted when I looked under the comments, because some of it's relatively tame, but I kept seeing people posting 40 seconds, like 40 seconds, 40 seconds, 40 seconds, because I never watched past the first 10 seconds. I'm like, oh God, this is crazy. Well, I fast forward this thing to 40 seconds, and I'll be doggone, man, if this wasn't these guys are they're getting down with it. So I can, and here's the thing, Mike Gundy, he's a tough guy too. I consider Mike Gundy a tough, hard edge kind of guy. Now, does he care about this? I don't know. I really don't know. I think he probably does, but and I get it. Like, I probably look like the guy that doesn't get the culture, because that's what I was told. Like, whenever I brought it up, I called a couple of friends of mine that are in their 20s, and they said, you do risk looking like you don't get that culture as well. Like, there are things we did when we were younger that didn't resonate with older people as well. And I'm like, I'm just 40. Like, I feel like, I still wear flat bill hats. I still use some slang from from this era. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm a young 40, like, especially mentally. I have a hot piss meter, for God's sakes. Like, trust me, I don't take things that seriously. But that right there for me is crossing a bit of a line. If you're talking about in a football locker room, right, where you're supposed to be tough dudes, you're supposed to sit. And here's the other thing Rich Rod talks about. Like, I did a breakdown on it. And here's what I put: 10 reasons Rich Rod was right to ban TikTok dancing. Number 1, they look soft as hell. The Oklahoma State players' TikTok dance video captioned, "Watch us flex," has been roasted on X and projects a soft edge. They do. Mocking it is a reason for me to bet against the Oklahoma State team this year. And I think Rich Rodriguez ban aligns with his goal to maintain that hard edge. Number 2, they're almost humping each other in the video, guys. They're within 3-4 inches of each other's buttocks. So, obviously it's got some suggestive choreography. I think that, obviously there's consent here as far as these dudes lined up on camera together to do this. So it's not like there's random dudes in the video that don't want to be in the video, right? I understand that part, and that's fine. Like, if you want to get in a video and dance or something, that's cool. I understand it. It's just in your Oklahoma State uniform, probably in the locker room or in the building somewhere. It's like Rich Rodriguez. You can control what you can control. I can stop you from dancing in my locker room. I can't stop you from dancing anywhere else, nor will I try. If you want to make yourself look like a fool on your own time, go ahead and do it. But can we leave the West Virginia brand out of it? Can we leave the Oklahoma State brand out of it? Come on, man. And here's the thing too, and maybe this was controversial, but You guys are kind of like hired snipers. You guys are hired mercenaries to come in here and play this year. You guys are disrespecting the brand you don't even know about. That's my opinion on it. Like, sure, can some of these guys, like, I'll give a great example. What's probably the best one I can think of off the top of my head, Eric Stevenson, right? He played 1 year at West Virginia, but I think he's pretty much ingratiated himself as a West Virginia forever person, right? He always talks about being West Virginia. He always talks about West Virginia. He was going to play with West Virginia. So like, there's a lot of reasons to, for sure, in my opinion, anyways. That's possible to happen is what I'm saying, I guess. Like, guys can stay for a year and be loved. I'm not saying they can't be, but for the most part, a lot of these guys are here for 1 year and they don't really care about the brand or the university. And I think this impacts it. That's just my opinion. Like Rich Rod said, by the way, instead of practicing dancing, they could be getting better at football. Rich Rodriguez emphasized that time spent on TikTok dances detracts from football preparation. The Oklahoma State football players focus on synchronized dance moves could have been spent on drills or film study, especially when they were 3-9 last year. So, just saying. It also promotes individualism over the team, right? In this case, there were a couple group of guys dancing, but it's still how many guys on the team are embarrassed today because of these dances? I want to know. I want to know. We've got 10 guys here total or something like that, if you count the first one and the second one, maybe a couple more. How many of the other 100 guys don't want to be associated with this? Is that not a fair question to ask? I think it is. So, it looks like they're clout chasing to me a little bit. Obviously I mentioned it protects, it impacts the program's brand, right? What about recruiting backlash? You can definitely have that, right? Recruits are like, man, I'm not going to go there. Like, I'd like to go somewhere where somebody's going to coach me, or vice versa. They could say, I'm not going to go where Rich Rod's at. I'm going to go somewhere where I can dance. Fine. If that's what you're all about. We'll be about football over here. Distractions. I think another one is distractions, right? If you're aiming to improve on that horrible season you had, maybe don't do this. It doesn't align with old school football values. Rich Rod's old school approach, which is echoed by Matt Rule and others, like Rodriguez said, 20 years from now, if they want to be sitting in their pajamas in the basement eating Cheetos and watching TikToks or whatever the hell, they can go at it. That's a quote I wrote down. How about, if you don't do this, it would mitigate a lot of social media criticism, because now they're facing harsh criticism. They're getting roasted on X, on TikTok, on Instagram. Like, it's embarrassing for people. And lastly, how about setting a precedent for discipline? Rich Rod banned TikTok dancing and established clear boundaries that align with his program beliefs. Prioritizing discipline over fleeting social media trends is a good thing, in my opinion. And the Oklahoma State, Cowboys viral video now, for the wrong reasons, by the way, does not translate to wins. I promise you that. Which reinforces Rodriguez's point, in my opinion, that football success trumps TikTok fame. And look, like he said, I banned dancing on TikTok. I guess I did that, and I'm allowed to do that. I guess I can have rules, right? These are my opinions. Let me know how you feel down below. I should do a soft edge meter. Oh, that's great. Hold on a second. Who gave me that idea just now? Oh my God, Professional Carpet Systems of Raleigh. Would you like to be a channel sponsor, by the way? Soft edge meter is so classically awesome. Like, thank you. I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it. 1,000%. I'm writing it down right now. Right now, I'm writing that down. Hold on just a second, because that's great. Soft edge meter. That's so great. I'll make sure you get credit for it someday. I'll send you my number, and then you can sponsor me as well. kidding. But Soft Edge Meter is great. So thank you for that. Okay, let's go to break. On the other side, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the list of 33 West Virginia players. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make a quick prediction on, do I think they're going to do good, bad, or ugly? We talk about that next on Locked On West Virginia. Stick around, guys. All right, we are back here at segment 3, and I'm going to take another drink of Dusky real quick. I want to shout out Skylar Callahan for this article. Actually, I'm just going to share the screen so that you guys can see it as well. I just don't like to – I don't understand, like even if I don't like somebody, this is just my opinion, I'm going to give them credit. I don't understand the whole just because I don't like you. Like, do you guys know somebody that just because they don't like somebody, the person that they don't like can never do anything right, even if they do something right? And it drives me wild because I go out of my way that even if I don't like somebody, I'll still stick up for them on certain things. Like, well, in this situation, like he's actually kind of making a good point, right? As to where like my buddy, for instance, this is just an example. I'm not stating my political beliefs on here one way or the other, but he's obviously a Republican and hated Joe Biden. And he said something about Biden one day, and I was like, well, in that situation, maybe, and man, he just could not see it. And it was like that with other things too. If he dislikes somebody, he just can't, because like I'm one of those people, like I'm not all one way or the other. So I don't even know why I was talking about that. Where am I? Am I in Provo? Oh God, I'm tired, y'all. So this is about Skylar Callahan. A look at where Mountaineers will be playing in 2025. So let's get to the list. This is a fun idea. Good idea here, Skylar Callahan. So right first on the list is Ryer Burton. Guys, I was a fan of his. I don't know how he's doing at UAB. I think Trent Dilfer is his coach there unless something changed. I honestly haven't looked into it. But I think he's got a chance to be pretty good. I do. I think I think he had some talent. Ironically, he came from BYU. But yeah, CJ Donaldson is a really interesting one. He's either going to be a big hit or about like he was for us. Good in some spots, probably good on the goal line, things like that. But I mean, personally, I don't think he is the most talented back ever. Now, maybe they get something extra out of him that I didn't see. I think he's very good. Don't get me wrong. I definitely think he's a starting power 4 running back for sure. But like, do I think he is what they just lost or what they've had in the past at Ohio State? No, I do not. After his freshman year, I thought he could turn into that, but he just hasn't, for whatever reason, he hasn't taken that next step. Maybe he does it at Ohio State, but if you ask me to bet on it, I would say I think he's either going to be average or very good. It's one of the two. I don't think he'll be bad. Travion Dunbar's another interesting one. South Alabama, he's got the talent for sure. No doubt about it. I think he's got the potential to be good there. 1,000-yard rusher or something. Jalen Anderson is one that I would bet highly on this list. South Dakota, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure. I want to make sure, but are they the good or the bad one? Let's see. We will find out in just a second. Yeah, they destroyed everybody last year, didn't they? Hold on. We'll look at what their poll record ended up being there. And it doesn't always mean that it'll be great this year as well. But it looks like, yeah, they won 11 games. So, yeah, I think they're a team, and reading on them, some of the headlines I'm seeing here, they're loaded. They got a lot back. Well, if that's the case, if he's on a good team especially, he could probably outdo anybody on the list as far as I think he's very talented personally. Like Jalen Anderson, I always felt like he was misused a little bit. He was never really given the reins to try to do more at West Virginia. Now he did come in out of shape and things like that, so he did it to himself. But I always felt like he had more talent, and he's a 4-star guy, right? Brandon Raymond at Delaware, kind of shocking that he went to Delaware. He's another 4-star guy that we got out of St. Joseph's Prep, as a matter of fact. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I think he's going to be either average or good there. I think he's definitely talented enough to be good there. Traylon Ray at Ole Miss. This is one that I hate to even see it on the list, to be honest. I really do. But I think he'll be good there. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie because I'm mad. Hudson Clement in Illinois might be the most interesting one on the list. I don't know what to think. I really don't. I don't think he'll be much better than what he was at West Virginia. I think he might catch 40 or 50 balls there. I don't think he's going to be some exploded 100 catch kind of guy. I mean, I think he's got a lot of talent. But is he going to go to the Big Ten and dominate? I don't think so. I think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be great or anything like that. Rick Darius Farmer at UCF is going to be very good at some point in time. It's not a matter of if, it's but when. And it could be now, this year. I'll look forward to this one because it's going to suck to see him be good. Never given a chance by Neil Brown. One of the best recruits he ever got, and never give him a real chance. One of my biggest pet peeves with Neil Brown was he wouldn't play young players and let them work their way because he was always up against it. He was always up against the hot seat. He never had a chance to really, in my opinion, he never had a chance to kind of play around with certain things because he was always having to try to win at all times. Like if you look at our games, we were always in it with Neil Brown. Like in a lot of cases, like even the games we lost, we definitely got blew out a couple times, but we were always in the game with Neil in a lot of cases, down 2 to 3 scores at most. And he could never justify putting in a Rick Darius Farmer for more. TJ Johnson is a kid that I thought would be better at West Virginia. I really did. Maybe it's because I had him on the show and his dad was a buddy of mine, kind of. And I thought, they should have played him at tight end personally. They never did. So, I think he's got a chance to be a contributing member of Southern Miss. I think the book is out on him. I think he's a Division I player, but not an elite one. Will Dixon at Rhode Island's an interesting one. I'm going to have to start going through these a little quicker, but I think he'll be good there. Tomas Remack he's going to be excellent at Virginia Tech. Kyle Altuner is going to be, in my opinion, probably the best on the list. I believe Kyle Altuner will be the best center in college football before his career is over with. It's my opinion. I watched him dominate 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. His dad has a highlight cut up of Kyle Altuner versus 5-star players. Over 30 of him dominating 5-star players. I knew when we got him that we had an elite player. I knew it. I still do. It kills me, crushes me that he went to Virginia Tech. I hate it so much. He would be our starting center right now. It would be absolutely solidified, or he would be a guard, either one. But yeah, this one hurts a lot. Johnny Williams at Missouri is an interesting one. I think he'll be good. I don't think he'll be great. Maybe closer to average. He's got size, he's got some ability, but I was never overly impressed with him. But then again, he never had a bunch of opportunities either. Justin Terry, Ohio State's a shocker, right? I wasn't expecting that one, but they did it. I have no clue on this one, no feel at all. I think he's going to go there and probably not play, if you're asking me. It's my opinion. Sully Whiteman at UMass, he'll be a starter there. I think he'll be good at that level for sure. Lucas Austin, I think it's got a chance to develop into a very good player. Won't be this year. Maybe won't be next year, most likely, but at some point. Jackson Marco at Alabama. Guys, I must be in the minority here. I love Samarco a lot. I didn't think he was Alabama good. If you're talking about as a blocker, yes. Anything else? No. Mekhi Byerson at Boston College, really interesting. I think he'll just be average there. Elijah Kinsler, Southern Miss. I think he'll be good there. Obina Muka, Coastal Carolina, has a chance to be good there. Orion Fisher at UTEP. I think he has a chance to be average to good. Josiah Trotter is going to be elite at Missouri. Trey Lathan's going to be very good at Kansas. Ricky Williams is going to be average at Toledo, in my opinion. TJ Crandall is going to be, uh, I think he's going to be good at Oregon State. Aiden Garnes at Arizona is a super interesting one. I think he'll be um, average. Jordan Jackson, I think, will be average. Chris Henry at Coastal Carolina, I think, will be average to good. Keon Washington, I think, will be average to good. Um, Raleigh Collins, I think, will be good. Jahiem Joseph, very interesting one here at UNLV. I think he'll be very good there. I think he'll be good there. Josiah Jackson, Garden City Community College. Obviously, he's looking to bounce back. He's going to have to be good there, or he's not going to play again. Aiden Tagalone Nelson, Eastern Kentucky. I don't have a read on it very much. I like this tape coming out of high school, but I think he'll probably just be another run of the mill player, average. You know, my opinion. Do I think anybody will be bad on the list? It's hard to predict that. It really is. If you had to make me pick somebody that would be bad, it's hard because the ones that I would pick for bad went to such low levels that I think they could be okay there, you know? I'll say Justin Terry at Ohio State. Maybe that's controversial. I don't know a lot about him. Obviously, I watched his high school tape. He was good, don't get me wrong. But I don't know what the hell happened here with this one. Going to Ohio State, I don't think he'll play there. If he does, I'll come on here and admit I was wrong, like always. Another one I think has got a chance to be bad is it's kind of tough to pick bad. Maybe it's tough. It's really tough. I got to be honest. Aiden Tagalone Nelson, I think, has a chance to be bad. And I love the kid. He played basketball on our team. He came on my show. Like, I hate talking bad about these kids. I really do. But, outside of that, I think most of the guys we lost were of quality in some way. Certainly had a chance to be players. But, we didn't lose anybody. Like, we lost probably 5 or 6 guys that were devastating losses. I mean, even with Neil Brown's, even though they were his guys, I got to be honest, man. Like, Josiah Trotter really hurt bad. Trey Lathan hurt pretty bad. Traylon Ray obviously hurt bad. Kyle Alterner was my North Star. Like, he was the next Zach Frazier to me. And I'll put anybody wants to bet right now, I'll put 100 down. Kyle Alterner will be an All-American before his career is over. I'm totally confident in that. Like, he's that good of a player. So I'm shocked that we lost him. I hated it. His dad told me he was staying, but then when Matt Moore left, it got dicey. The only 2 criticisms I can give Rich Rodder this. You probably should have offered Chad Scott right away. Even though you will lost him eventually, you probably wouldn't have lost some of the transfers you did. And I think Jack McNeil is amazing. I really do. I've really enjoyed what he has been. But, like, if you're talking about Matt Moore and keeping that offensive line together, I think for this first year, you can go get somebody next year. But for this first year, I think it was very important. So, awful is a bad word. He had over 80 tackles. So, I mean, it's, if you want to talk about pass, yeah, he struggled. But, he was on a bad team as well, trying to make up for deficiencies that there were there. I mean, look at the pass defense we had. Everybody was bad. We didn't have, like, and he was, he's a converted wide receiver playing his second year as a linebacker. So I don't consider that bad personally, West Virginia Rocker, but thank you for your opinion. What's up, TJ Fleming? Hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I haven't heard from you in a while. Thank you guys so much for everything. And I will be back on the next one. I got to come back on here tomorrow. And obviously, I'll be leaving Provo Saturday. So we'll do a couple more videos here. I'd like to do another one today, but I've got so much left to do. I have to go to this place called Thanksgiving Point. I'm driving through something called the Alpine Loop. Like, there's a lot to do. So before you go, like the video, please. Subscribe if you're new around here. And talk to me on the next one, guys. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Make sure you check out my dude Brian over at Locked On Portal. Does an amazing job over there. I'll see you next time, guys. I'm out.